Hello, and welcome to episode 65 of Friends of the Show. I am Stephen W. Skinner, and this is my podcast where I chat with some of the funniest people from the internet. And this week's friend is a very funny improviser and actor from Barrie, Ontario, who's been performing for over a decade and continues to do very inspiring stuff online, including my favorite, an Instagram influencer and motivational account at Randall Walsh Enterprise. And I'm, of course, talking about Gavin Pounds at GavinLBS on Twitter. And we chat about everything from his work in the biz to riding electric unicycles. And it's all capped off with some great questions from favorite FOTS. So thank you to everyone who sent a question. Now it's Friends of the Show, episode 65, with Gavin Pounds.
So I was told yesterday by my friend that he's having a band practice downstairs, but I tested it on audio, and if you hear it, it should be real quiet, but I don't think you'll hear it at all.
Oh, but that'll be in a fun little background.
Yeah.
Be an audio experience. Okay, I'll just play the podcast theme.
Cool.
Cool. This week's friend is a very funny comedy performer and actor, comedian who has appeared in such things as The Boys and Working Moms, and one time I saw him do stand-up in a house. It's Gavin Pounds at GavinLBS on Twitter. Welcome to the podcast, Gavin.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Hey, yeah, thanks for being on. But you're an old hand at podcasts, aren't you? You've been on your share of pods.
Sure, of course. I've been podding. I've podded.
Logged some hours with the headset and the microphones.
Absolutely.
Just gabbing. So what are some podcasts you've been on? I saw you were on one just this week, I believe, was released.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends from an improv troupe that I work with, Griffin and Steve, who do a podcast called Killed to Death, which I love to do. Real silly, real fun, really just super loose. What else? I don't know. Lots of other ones. That's the one I like to shout out because I've been on it forever.
I saw that one came up a lot in the Google search of Gavin Pounds. It was high SEO on that one. So yeah, Killed to Death. So what's the concept of that one? It sounds like silly.
It's very silly. It's two guys who give you a murder scenario at the beginning. You play a character who is trying to relay the information to them so they may solve the murder. But of course, as it happens with people like us, it gets real ridiculous very, very quickly.
Oh, classic. You're escalating.
Yeah, just a lot of yes-anding, just three seasoned improvisers going at it.
Just imagine something getting heightened. You ever imagine that?
Oh, I love to imagine that.
That would be crazy. So if you love things getting heightened and crazy murder mystery type stuff, then check that podcast out. Specifically the Gavin episodes I would start with.
Yeah, me too.
So that's very cool. And Griffin and Steve, those are great names.
I've been telling them.
My name, obviously, Steve. My dog's name, obviously, Griffin. So, great connection over here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a huge connection.
Huge connection. Okay, so you've got podcast chops is what I was trying to get at. So, let's get to why you have podcast chops. You do sketch comedy and other types of comedy. Let's get into it. What kind of comedy are you doing?
I'd say these days, most of what I'm doing is improv around Toronto. But yeah, I did start in sketch, and I like doing characters mostly. So whatever you want to quantify that as or classify that as, whether it's sketch or some in between area. But yeah, I'd say I started in sketch and now do a lot more improv.
Right, but it's all character-based. So, yeah I guess usually. That's the through line. So you got some great characters. We should mention, probably my favorite one is your Instagram character, Randall Walsh Enterprises.
Yeah,
that's
my
favorite guy out there. Really motivating and inspiring me every day on Instagram. So everyone should be checking it out. Is that at Randall Walsh Enterprise?
That's exactly right, yeah.
Yeah, link in the show notes, I'm sure, for this episode. So everyone's got to click through, watch all of his stories, and get inspired. So that guy is sort of like a inspirational influencer character. And I was scrolling through your timeline today, like way back, and I could kind of see like inkling of it beginning. So I think you did an initial video and you added a couple of like those type influencers in like 2017, and then and then by like 2018 you did like a whole show, like a live show, as I think it might have not been named yet, but as like that type of character.
Yeah. In December of 2018, I did a show, just like a full, because I had gone already to like physically. I went to the real estate, wealth, and Bitcoin conference in Toronto. I spent like $70 or $80 to get tickets to go see Sylvester Stallone and Alex Rodriguez tell me how to make a business.
Mm-hmm. That's the real secret. You learn the real secrets.
You know those two business moguls, Sylvester Stallone and Alex Rodriguez?
Yeah, who made their money through shrewd investing, not through other means, other skills and talents.
So yeah, I went and saw them. So I had done enough research to put on my own conference show like thing as Randall. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, you got a lot of great content coming out of that, and it's a lot of sort of like retweeting other sort of semi-inspirational stuff with your own touch on top of it, right?
Yeah, because when you are that guy, I follow like 60% of the people I follow on Instagram with that account are actual influencers and dumb like really dumb motivators and stuff like that.
I mean, Randall's got to get inspired from somebody, right?
Yeah. So
who inspires these like lower level aspirational, inspirational people? Yeah,
exactly. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that character. I can see him doing like an SNL type movie where like he starts his own cult, has a huge following.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, love that guy. So what are some other of your key characters? What are your other go-tos? You got other?
Good question. That'd be the main one for now. Live, I've done some videos, and I like to do live ones of just a guy from the future.
Okay.
Just so you just put on one of those like Geordie LaForge style, Cyclops style headband over the eyes. Makes it look like you're from the future.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees that is going to be the look in the future.
Yeah. There are no qualms about it. That's how we're gonna look. But the reason I like to do that one is because I always felt like anything from the future gives you ultimate freedom to do any silly, absurd thing because it can be justified because nobody's gonna know.
Right.
I think that's why shows like Rick and Morty or even Futurama can get away with so much because they have an infinite world to play with that no one can tell them isn't going to happen.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's just how it is in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So you can be like, "What do you mean? I eat wood."
Yeah,
you can't tell me I don't eat wood.
Yeah, we all heard that it was good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wood is delicious. And by the way, this episode is brought to you by wood.
By the concept of wood.
So you got here into Toronto from Barrie, Ontario. Shout out to Barrie.
Yeah, Beantown.
Is that what it's called?
No, that's just what I call it.
Oh, so let's talk about Barrie. Recently, my brother has moved to Barrie. He's planted his flag in Barrie, Ontario. So I was just there visiting his new house, and yeah, it's in Barrie. It is right in there.
Yeah.
It's sort of near the water. I don't know how to explain to where it is, but I don't want to.
Near the waterworks. Near the waterworks.
Okay, sure. Yeah, near the water, and also sort of near like a main strip of like restaurants and stuff.
Okay, so it sounds like it might be close to downtown.
Yeah, sort of close to downtown. 10-minute walk from City Hall or something. He said.
Oh, okay.
So he's living the life in Barrie. So what can you tell me about Barrie? And
Barrie's fucked, man. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can swear, but Barrie's crazy.
Thank you.
It's really nuts. You think of like you think of Toronto as being this big, scary city when you come from Barrie, but like I think I've been most afraid when I've been downtown Barrie by myself. It's just a real weird place.
Yeah, I mean, same. I mean, I'm not from Toronto or Barrie, but I've been downtown in both, and yeah, probably more scared the fewer times I've been to Barrie.
Yeah, it's a really weird place. And the other thing is, I went to elementary school right around where you're talking about. So, you'd be walking around downtown. I had a guy. I went out for lunch one time when I was maybe 11, and I was holding my cash in my hand, and I had a guy come up to me and be like, "Yo, put that away, or I'm gonna take it." And he just came up to me. He's like I'm 11 years old. He's like, "Put that money away, or I'm gonna take it right now."
Wow. What a good mugging.
Yeah, nice mugger. Real nice. I still keep in touch.
Yeah. Wow. Like, you can't tempt me like that, you little kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you know that?
It's not like I was like throwing it around. I just had it in my hand. He must have just spotted it.
I mean, I think he was just looking out for you, but what a nice moment. That could have gone way worse.
Yeah, I guess it could.
Well, glad that you survived that encounter. The sketchy encounters are a thing of Barrie that I know about.
Yeah,
but that's fine. I'm sure it happens in a lot of sort of mid-level cities.
Exactly. Yeah. I know. I agree 100%.
All right, so you came and then you had a sketch group, Dame Judy Dench.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about with your sketch group. That was out of the Second City Conservatory Program. That sounds pretty fancy.
Oh yeah, super fancy. We'd all wear suits to go improvise.
Full tux, every scene.
Yeah. Every scene was very high class. No, it was just four people from my conservatory class in Second City. After we were done, we still liked working together, so we kept writing stuff, and then we added another guy that was a mutual friend of a few of ours, and then that's where that came from. So it was the five of us, and we're still doing stuff here and there.
Oh hell yeah, Dame Judy Dench still with us,
still kicking.
Happy to hear. And then so you did sketches all over the place in Fringe Festivals, Sketchfests. Those are good places for sketches. What's the sketchiest place you did sketch?
Ooh, good question. The sketchiest place I did sketch. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, like, I love. There's a theater in Toronto, which is the Social Capital Theater in the East End, which I love. It's awesome, and it's so good for improv and sketch. But the improv and sketch world are on the second and third floors, and the first floor is a bar that is frequented by. I don't know if you'd call them sketchy because I've never gotten to know them.
Sure.
No, but, it's not a place that I walk into a lot and just think like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah, I'm home.
It's like, I'll get out of here pretty quickly.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right, cool. That sounds really good. I don't want to throw any venues under the bus. I was just thinking maybe you performed in somewhere weird, or maybe that's more like stand-up comedy.
I did stand up in a laundromat after hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of laundromat shows that pop up, and like bookstore shows. Like those are kind of fun, weird shows.
I liked it. Yeah, it was really cool. Everybody brought their own drinks, and it was one of those 24-hour laundromats that just never closes and has good lighting.
Yeah, I guess that isn't even good.
You know one of those laundromats?
Yeah, this laundromat has the best lighting. That's what it's known for.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So doing sketches, and then what cast member of Second City's house company?
Yeah.
Well, that's some sketches, probably.
That's what, sorry?
Good sketches.
Yeah, that's mostly in Houseco. You're doing a lot of archive sketches, so a lot of older Second City sketches, which is fun. But yeah, we also got to create a few of our own, which is a good time because I enjoyed the people that were in that group with me.
Yeah, it's very cool. I do think the Second City sort of formula is fun. How they take the classic sketches from great companies over the years, with people who you would have heard of, who originally performed them, and then mix in sort of new sketches that you try new sketches after the show or whatever in that workout time, and then really good ones make it to the show. I think it's a good thing, and so it lets you be like, yeah, Dan Aykroyd originally played this one, and now
Yeah,
I'm
now
doing
it's
it. And now I'm doing it. I might have Asperger's or whatever.
I'm Dan Aykroyd now.
All right, so we're online. What are you doing online? Okay, you joined Twitter in February 2009, which is a cool decade ago at the time of this
crazy.
recording. So, wow, that is an old Twitter account.
I guess so, yeah.
So I tried to look back. A lot of your old tweets were sort of just like a couple words like heading to the market, or one of them was like, okay, this one from December 16th, 2011, 9:57 p.m. in Guelph. Just like, you're in Guelph. Like, that's it. That's the tweet. Send. So I was like, yes, that finally, because I don't know what people were doing. Like, that's what I thought Twitter was. Before I got it, I didn't really start tweeting until like 2012 or something. But in 2009, I saw that it was around. I'm like, well, it's just like a status update. It's just like a Facebook status
That's what I
update.
treated it as.
And a lot of people did, and so I was just like, oh, okay. But it was funny to see some of those old like status update style tweets.
Oh God, yeah, that's terrifying. I hope you didn't find any too gross. I think there's one. There's one that I'm always terrified of being brought up, which is I think I had one where it was like where I must have been like 19 or something, and I said the Big Bang Theory is actually quite watchable, or like something.
Oh no, so no, I was thinking that could be way worse, but yeah, I don't think you're gonna get canceled for just that hot
I'm gonna
take.
get canceled, man.
But yeah, I didn't see too many problematic ones where you would get canceled. Maybe one.
You're good. I'll have to go check it out.
I'll DM it to you. You can delete it.
All right.
But there was some really funny ones that I found from way back in the olden times.
Oh no, this is terrifying.
No, I never used. I mean, we used to read tweets every single episode, but then I stopped it when I sort of rebooted it this time. But I do like to read a tweet or two. Like that in Guelph one was great. But
in Guelph is extremely funny. Like that is such a funny tweet without it having any meaning to. I didn't mean it to.
That one is such a good one where you could like quote tweet it, and it would be a great like punchline. I actually I went to Guelph, so shout out to.
Oh, so you get it. So you get that tweet.
I get it. That's why I really appealed to me also. Shout out to Guelph and the Griffins. So great.
Yeah.
All right. So this tweet was from November 14th, 2014.
Okay.
I heard if you skip your kidney stones across the pond after passing them, a doctor will appear and go, "Oh, you're doing this, eh? Weird."
All right, not bad.
That one's not bad. I didn't pick. I didn't pick the super weirdo but that was a good one that I liked. But there was a few other ones I liked. You're actually more likely to die on your way to get struck by lightning.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
That's a classic one. And then this last one here: don't clap because the plane landed. Smile because it took off.
Yeah,
classic. Gavin
I remember working on that one for like a couple weeks, trying to get the wording right.
Trying to crack it. Wow, I'm glad that you finally landed that one because it was a good one.
Well done. Ended.
Yeah, really took off. Okay, so I'm not sure what the kayfabe of Randall Walsh is. Are you him? Can we get him on the phone? Can we talk to Randall Walsh?
Sure, I guess. Yeah, I can try.
I don't know what. No, it's fine. I just wasn't sure what I like to maintain the kayfabe. You are.
Well, one thing I've noticed when people ask me to do Randall is that because I've done it live a lot now and I'm excited about it and I think it works. But one thing that I've noticed is to do that character, everything he says has to be very direct and very pointed and very confident, and it's very difficult to improvise that style.
Can't just keep it up, yeah.
Any break, any or immediately kind of negates the way, like the vibe that he's trying to give off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So it has to be go go go, and there can't be a single lull. So how did you pull that off for the show?
But well, yeah, when you listen to those guys, they're so like it's very scripted while coming off very off the cuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, crazily tightly scripted down to the comma, right? Like the pause for a comma or like an end dash pause a little bit longer. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So even like the Instagram, if I make like a video of me in my bedroom, like, you know, holding the phone up and trying to say something, like there are like 70 fails on my phone of me being like, well, and then realizing I messed a word up and going like, God damn, stopping and starting again.
Oh, well, that's good to hear, because I was wondering about the production of these Randall Walsh videos and other stuff, because it's great. So it is kind of tight, right? So good to hear that. It does take work. All right, so what else we got here? You got a clip here from The Boys. It was on one of your things. So you want to throw to this clip?
Sure. So you're gonna play it?
I will play it once you.
All right. So I was lucky enough to get a spot on The Boys, and they actually let me improvise this line coming up. So play it when you're ready.
Hey, Starlight, show us your tits.
So great clip there from The Boys. I'm not sure where you can catch that show. If you're,
I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Everyone check out The Boys on Amazon Prime, and then fast forward to that clip that I just played.
Just real organic improv, you know, yelling out what you feel.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's your years of training. You just felt it in the moment. You're like, this is what this guy would say.
Yeah. Of course, for anyone that doesn't know me, not improv, but also very funny that I had to say that 30 times on set. And then not only that, but they needed me for ADR, which is additional dialogue recording, meaning the 30 times I said it on set was not enough. So 2 weeks later, I had to go into the studio and yell that into a microphone a bunch more times.
Oh, my God. The real how the sausage is made moment for that heckle, for that 10-second clip in the show. Wow.
Heckling fan is
that's your official credit?
That's the credit, yeah.
Official credit. You can check out Gavin's IMDb, and if you go pro, you can see who represents him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, IMDb Pro.
Gotta get that.
You gotta get it, Gavin. If you want to be anywhere in the biz, you need to find out. That is something you should probably know. All right. So I guess the last thing I'm going to talk about was that you do a bunch of impressions in the tweet that I was sharing around prior to this episode. Everyone, you gotta go watch this clip. It's Gavin doing how many impressions?
It's 25 impressions in 1 minute.
Right. So it's one of those boom impression. It's like an impression chain. I'm not sure what they call it. A crazy bunch of impressions, boom, rapid fire in a row. Great stuff. So you got to go and watch that clip. So it must have been a lot of preparation for that. How do you work? Do you spend, just hours with each character watching, video of them and sort of just like learning to mimic it, or you just hear it once and boom, clicks in?
Well, that video specifically, the impressions are all just a vehicle for the ultimate joke, which is that 17 of the 25 impressions are the same guy.
Yeah.
Which is funny because my mom, who watched it, sent me a message saying those are good impressions, which is very lovely. But it meant I don't think she quite got what I was doing.
Didn't get the bit.
Yeah, like if I was gonna do real impressions, I don't think I would start with who was it, like Stewie from Family Guy?
Yeah,
or
Christopher
something.
Walken right off the bat, obviously, and then into Stewie from Family Guy.
Oh, yeah, Walken, yeah, all the classic ones.
I mean, you got to start off with Walken, right? That's the...
Of course.
Yeah, so that great video, great impressions. Everyone got to go check that art.
Yeah, I just love that character. I was always a big fan of Lost, and still am. I know it's very lame, but I was a huge fan. And that one guy, Desmond, was so much fun to listen to talk.
Yeah, so he was was he Scottish? I believe. I
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I did see some tweets about Lost, like sincere tweets about Lost from like 2011 when I was looking through your tweets. And
where it's all like no sense of irony, just me being like, I love Lost.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, I don't care what people say, season 3 was a great season or something.
Oh man, I need to go delete some of these. That's extremely funny.
Yeah, maybe just from Gavin Pound's Lost. Just great stuff from that and from the makers of Lost. So, oof, what a show.
Shout out J.J. Abrams.
And the whole crew, I mean, kept us guessing the entire time. Even up till when I stopped watching. Whenever,
yeah, even up to when I stopped wanting to guess.
Stopped wanting to watch. I think I stopped watching around the time that the others appeared.
Oh, okay.
Whenever that was, season 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to do that.
It was, yeah, I had to dip.
That's fair. That's
fair. It wasn't the golden age of TV yet, but you could see that it was coming.
It was on its way. And the other thing is, like, when you watch it as an adult, like, you can tell how melodramatic it is and how, like, oh my God, these are really, like, this is hard to believe.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of ways.
It's very schmaltzy stuff, some of it.
When you're not, like, 16.
Yeah, and, like, the weirdo twist, you're like, what huh? Like what?
I think just believe. Just
right.
Like, just believe in the makers, man. Just like believe in the.
Oh yeah, believe in the arc. They have an arc. This isn't. This is pre Breaking Bad when Vince Gilligan's like, I know how it's gonna go. Like, I got a beginning, middle, and end. Trust me. This is like, all right, we need a show by Friday. What do we got?
A beginning.
Yeah, we have a beginning. They're on an island.
Middle and end, we'll figure it out.
It's like, can we do a polar bear? Like, I don't see why not.
Yes.
Put it in.
The middle. The beginning is the island. The middle is the polar bear.
Like, how insane would their, like, blue sky whiteboard be? Like,
oh, yeah.
The Lost Writers room just, like, spitballing.
It's like you see polar bear at the very end of a list of a bunch of crossed off animals. It's like anteater crossed off, dinosaur crossed off, polar bear. Yes, circled
a million times. Yeah, really. And then like a little dash with big question mark. Like, oh, it's a big polar bear. Yes, larger than normal. Oh, classic stuff. From the old TV. So speaking of TV, what TV are you watching now? Anything good?
You know what I just started watching? I'm a big Trekkie. I've just started watching Discovery. It's the new Star Trek Discovery TV show.
Yes,
which is cool. I'm a big sci-fi guy, so that scratches that itch, so to speak.
So that's good. So that's new Star Trek stories. So how many seasons has that been out now? A few, right?
Yeah, 2. I think they're shooting season 3 right now.
Right, and it's
pretty good.
It's got the chick from The Walking Dead, right? I believe. Or...
Ooh, I don't know. I didn't see The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. Then maybe it does. Maybe it does have that. So that's good.
Is the woman in The Walking Dead a Klingon? Because if so, then yes.
I mean, maybe that'd be cool. Like a Klingon zombie. That'd fuck you up.
Yeah.
So, as of the time of this recording, Disney Plus has just been gone live this week.
Yeah.
So everyone's going nuts for all the Disney Vault has been exploded. And
yeah, people are rioting in the streets.
So that's what you've seen. So people are upset because now all of their old VHSs
are useless.
They're useless. They're not worth thousands like they would have been. Yeah. You know, they should have talked to that guy from the future, right? He would have told him. He's like, dude, everything in the future is streaming. You don't own any media.
That's why I was so pissed when that Pokemon card streaming service came out.
Oh.
Like, all mine are useless now.
Useless. Yep. You can get scans of them, but sorry. That holographic Dratini.
Oh, yeah.
Might as well flush it. For how much it's worth now. Yeah, so Disney Plus came out. I watched The Mandalorian, which I don't know if you've heard, and spoiler alert if you haven't listened, there's a baby Yoda. And it was very cute. So shout out to Jon Favreau, did it again. He's like, why not do a baby Yoda?
He's a hit making machine, Jon Favreau.
He's got a secret well, like from Iron Man to Chef. Wasn't that one? He's got the secret sauce, especially for chef movies.
That was the one where he's like a food truck, or he's a real chef, or like a big time chef, and then he switches to a food truck chef.
Yeah, something about him being a chef, like a
and
real
everybody
gritty.
looks down on him because he's making food in a truck.
Yeah, something like that. And he's a real gritty, real life chef. And I think he like trained to be a chef.
There is something very inherently funny about a chef. I don't know what it is, but I think it's a very funny concept of a job. I don't know why. I
think you're right, and it's been proven over the years. Chefs kissing their fingers is funny. Italian chefs is a classic, I guess, stereotype.
The hat is very funny. The
hat's funny. Everything's funny about it. As a person who worked in the hospitality industry, I know and have worked with many chefs, and they're mostly crazy. Like mostly,
I bet.
Super crazy. I don't know what it is. Like, certain professions attract a type of personality. I guess that's sort of what it is in this case. And I'd say like mostly the chefs that I've worked with are some level of super crazy. So crazy. I'm trying to think of like what are some crazy things that I've seen chefs do. A chef got fired from one place because he like refused to serve this like a member at the club wanted their steak cooked well done, and he would not do it.
He wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it for this lady. He's like, no, it's it's like a waste of the beef or whatever, and he got fired. But stuck up to his guns. So
I guess so. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty.
But that is very funny.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. Do not get your steak cooked well done.
No, or you'll piss off the chef, and there'll be no one to cook your steak.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So, yeah, chefs. Shout out to any chefs listening, though.
You're hilarious.
You're great. We love you. It's so fun to have you leading the kitchen. I saw a chef jump over a huge bonfire one time. Where it's like, that's like too high to jump. He's like, I got this. Like jumps like mostly through it, but kind of like crashed a bit through it and like got fire sort of everywhere.
This was I imagine not in the confines of a restaurant.
No, this was like an after hours gathering at a nearby residence, of the establishment. Well, that's those are all my notes. You got anything? Oh wait, no, I have one more thing. Gavin Pounds. My Google search turned up one more thing that'll definitely embarrass and surprise you.
Oh Lord.
Standing motorized vehicles.
Yeah.
For listeners, that was a smooth segue into tour guides. And was segue upon there? Yeah, segue. Segway tour guides. So, Gavin, you were a Segway tour guide of Toronto?
I am. I have been a Segway tour guide of Toronto for 8 years.
Oh, this is to present.
To present. I still work there a couple days a week.
Wow. I didn't check your LinkedIn, but that's great. So, still doing it because the picture that is up.
Is it old?
It's very old. You look like a fresh-faced teen.
Is it the interview I did about being a tour guide? Is that what it is?
No, I don't know. You're wearing a gray Segway Ontario Tours polo.
Right.
And you're doing sort of like a Hulk Hogan pose, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I remember that picture.
So it's on the company website. Everyone got to request Gavin if you're looking for a classic Distillery District walking tour.
Oh, please do. Yeah. Shout out Go Tours Canada in the Distillery District.
Go Tours Canada in the Distillery District. You can have your very own, very hilarious guide show you the way.
Some of the funniest history.
All right, without giving too much away, what can we expect on the tour?
I mean, in all seriousness, what we do is take everybody on a Segway and take them around the Distillery District and tell them the history of the old Gooderham and Wirtz distillery that inhabited that area for about 150 years.
Beautiful. So a lot of cool old architecture. I'm looking at the Gooderham and Wirtz. There's like a overhanging bridge, like a
Oh yeah.
cool thing. Pretty good. And so for only $21 you can take this tour, learn a lot about the history.
You can come chill out with me. We'll go ride a Segway around the area, and I'll point out buildings that are older than other buildings, but younger than other buildings.
Okay, I got it. So what's the best building? Is it the main Gooderham and Warts one that I'm looking at?
It depends on which one you're looking at. I would say the best building is the Old Stone Distillery, which is a gray limestone building that is the oldest still standing building there. That was that exploded in 1869, but did not burn down.
Oh wow, that is a strong ass building.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's 3.5 foot thick walls for anyone that's curious.
Oh wow, that is good enough. That is thick enough.
Sturdy, yeah.
That'll work. Oh, that's very cool. So distillery tours available by Gavin. Check it out if you can, if you're in or visiting Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And maybe just if you want to learn how to ride a Segway. So tell me about it. Did you have to learn how to ride a Segway, or were you like, they're like, you know how to ride a Segway, right? And you're like, of course I do.
Yeah, most people that look at me can tell that I am able to ride a Segway based on the way I look.
Right. You're like, you were an early adopter.
Yeah. No, I it's actually, I don't know if you've ever ridden them. They're extremely easy. So the first day I was there, I was taught how to do it. And then from there, you just kind of, you pick it up.
Right, because you got to teach the people at the beginning of the tour. I'm sure there's like a little 5-minute thing, like stay with the group, keep your helmet on.
Exactly.
Arms inside the Segway or whatever.
Yeah.
So you just like lean around, lean and it leads. I have never been on one.
No, yeah, that's exactly it. You move the machine by leaning your body weight slightly. So a lot of people aren't prepared for that, so they kind of push and pull on the handlebars. But yeah, it's all about leaning, baby.
Oh, just a good lean. So
yeah, solid lean, you'll get going.
That's pretty solid. So yeah, because they did try those little hoverboards, right? So it's like a Segway, but without the pole.
Yeah,
a little bit more impressive looking.
Yeah, but not as practical.
Not as practical, and I think more dangerous and banned or something, right?
I also ride instead of a bike, because I'm the biggest loser that's ever lived. Around the city, I ride an electric unicycle Segway.
Just on your own time?
Yeah. Nothing to do with the company. Like, not a joke. I legitimately have ridden an electric unicycle for the last 4 or 5 years in the city around Toronto, just because it's useful.
So if you're around Toronto and you see that guy, it's probably Gavin.
Yeah, I had someone message me because somebody on Instagram, like a big band or something, I don't remember who it was, but a band that I don't know or don't know them, but I have friends that follow them. One of their Instagram stories apparently was them in the car and filming outside their window, and at first there's nothing there, and then you see me zip by on a one wheel, but it's winter, so I have this big coat on, and I have my hands in my pockets, and I'm really like huddled over, but I'm moving like quickly by their window, and they just, as soon as I go by, they just burst out laughing, and then they yell, where are you going?
Because it looks like you're just hovering down the street.
And I looked really unhappy too, because it was so cold.
Oh, just a brutal tale of unicycle motorist.
I got torched online by some popular band, but I do not remember who they are.
Well, shout out to popular band if you're listening.
Oh, you got to listen to their music. It's
Get
so
at
popular.
us. Love that one song. All right, so that's it. You're touring people around town on your spare time. That's great. I think that was the last thing I wanted to shout out before we get in to everyone's favorite part of the show. I'm talking about questions from Twitter. So thank you to everyone who sent in a question to at FOTS Pod on Twitter for Gavin to answer. And the first bunch of questions come to us, from the lovely Morgan. I'm talking about Sweatpants Share. I'm talking about at house_feminist. Woo! And she asks some questions for Gavin. And I should preface this by saying I may have picked an inappropriate picture to use for the question call.
I was so happy. I love that picture, and I think it's so funny, but a lot of people do not like it.
Okay, I'm glad that we're on the same page, but I will apologize to any listeners who were offended. I saw Isabel Zatun said she muted the account because of this picture, so if you know, you know. So it's a picture of Gavin just looking sharp in a hoodie with a white shirt. I don't know what the problem is. So she says, I really hate the picture so much, but I will ask, 1, why don't you follow me?
Oh, I will. I don't know. I don't know if we've met.
No, that's fine. That's all she's looking for. She says, you don't have to. It's okay. I'm not mad. I would just like an honest response live on Friends of the Show. And you know what? I think you just got it. But yeah, I would say if you aren't following, you gotta be.
But straight up, I am going to right now.
Boom, clicking that follow button. So you'll see that coming through weeks ago if you're listening right now, Morgan. So thank you very much. All right, now the second question coming in from Morgan. What is a food you don't want all the time, but in a specific situation, it's the best food ever?
Ooh. Oh, okay. You know what okay, this is a slight difference, but I think it's a suitable answer. I never ever eat cheese.
Okay.
Ever. I think it's quite horrid and really disgusting. I'm not lactose intolerant. I just think it's
You're just
so gross.
rennet intolerant.
That being said, I can't stop eating pizza.
Oh, that's how they get you.
So pizza, it must mean that it's some kind of mental block, because obviously cheese is the main ingredient in pizza.
Well,
but for whatever reason, when I eat pizza, I don't really taste it. That being said, when I eat cheese in literally any other circumstance, it is just so appalling.
Wow, that is wild. Trying to figure out why that might be. I guess cheese on pizza is usually a mozzarella, right? So that's a pretty mild cheese as opposed to like a old cheddar or even those like old stinky cheeses. Like a lot of people like don't like those ones.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like even a cheeseburger, I can't do.
What about like a provolone?
No.
Because that's sort of more of a mild one, but that's interesting.
I think it just means that it got in my mind really early that I didn't like cheese, but for whatever reason, as a kid, it didn't occur to me that when I'm eating pizza, it's cheese as well.
Okay, so and in other things, you need to have it removed, like so not a cheeseburger. It'll be a straight burger, not a grilled cheese. Just be bread, just toast.
Bread, just give me some bread.
just toasted bread with butter. I'm trying to think of something else that would have cheese on it that you could remove.
Anything, burrito, not anything.
So what about Kraft Dinner? It's not real cheese.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Can't eat it. I mean, it's not real cheese though.
We used to have it like when I was like 8 and I had to go to this babysitter before my parents got home. She used to serve it, and I would just have to drown it in ketchup. To be able to eat it.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah, ketchup's great, right?
Oh yeah.
No aversion to ketchup, right? Ketchup over everything. If you get your steak well done, you better be marinating it in ketchup too.
Yeah, that chef is gonna kill himself.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, I think that makes sense. So it's cheese. Very interesting. Has that caused you any problems? Do people get, because cheese is a thing that people are very polarized about, I guess, right? So usually it is lactose intolerant people versus like cheese lovers. But those cheese lovers, they're like fish fans. They're intense.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're an ass. You're so dumb.
Yeah, they're like, science gave us this gift. Yeah. And you spit in its face.
People usually just ask me kind of the same thing, where it's like I tell them, I eat cheese only on pizza, nowhere else, and they go like, well, what about something?
Yes.
I go, no, like that's exactly what I'm talking about.
My statement, please see number 1. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Statement still holds. But I was trying to think of I was trying to do what everyone does.
But yeah,
there must be some other one. There must be. Cheesecake.
No, thank you.
Oh. Okay, that's my final guess. So that was a very great question. So in specific situation, that is still any time, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. So we got a few more questions here from Morgan. The third question: what's your favorite dog breed?
Oh, I'm going to answer. My favorite dog breed.
I think I'm going to answer him.
Because I used to have one. I don't know if it's my favorite in the sense that I would like one now, but an American Eskimo. You seen those?
Yeah.
They're little like white dogs.
Yeah, they're great.
But the cool thing about them that I didn't know when we adopted one was that they're bred to be circus dogs. So they have like insane, weird skills. Like when you'd hold food, our dog would stand on her hind legs for like 30 seconds at a time, walking around like a person on their hind legs. Like crazy stuff that you would not think this tiny dog was capable of.
Wow, that's nuts. They're like, you're just getting their food ready and they're like lighting a hoop. They're just like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
It's
She would
instinct.
not eat unless she had to jump through a hoop of fire.
I'm just like inflating one of those big balls that she's going to dance on.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. I know what I have to do.
We would hang her food from the ceiling fan, and it would as it spun, it would shoot the food off, and she'd catch it in her mouth.
That's like next level. I love a skilled dog, and if you ever watched like those competitions with all the dogs or whatever, agility and stuff, like they're pretty crazy.
They're nuts, yeah.
They're nuts. So great to see the dogs doing well, and shout out to Eskimo. So if that's not your favorite, what would be your B? What's your A and B? Because that's the
like I've always had. I like Wheaten Terriers a lot. I've always had a lot of Wheaten Terriers. They're nice and scruffy looking, and I like their long matted hair.
Wheaten Terriers, and they're always showing well at those competitions that I was just mentioning.
Oh, are they? Nice.
Yeah.
So apparently, I like elitist fancy dogs.
You have a very high class palate when it comes to dogs.
If you are a dog that is. Nah, never mind. I'm not going to say.
I don't know if you were going to shit on lower class dog breeds or what, but glad that we avoided
I don't want to get dog canceled.
Yeah, you would not want to be canceled in the dog world. Can't come back for 7 more years or something. All right, so a couple more questions from Morgan here. All right, question number 4. What's the worst vacation you've ever been on?
Oh, worst vacation. I think the answer to this is the only reason it was the worst is because of my own mindset and attitude. So the vacation itself wasn't bad, but I was bad on it.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is my parents are both teachers, or were both teachers. They're retired now. So what that meant was every summer we all had the summer off. My brother and my family all had the summer off at once. So the 4 of us would have 2 months off. And for the entirety of that 2 months, every single year, we would drive down to the Rockies, to Colorado and the desert, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, that kind of spot, and just travel for 2 months, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was like truly like looking back, my parents were very, very nice and great to expose me to that, but. After you had been doing it for 8 years, and then the time came when you were about 16, and you're in that adolescent stage where all you want is to be your own person. And then your family's like, okay, you're done school. All right, next day we're leaving. Like you don't no friends. You're like we're gone. So I always thought that I could have had more fun on those trips had I had a better mindset. But there was a little bit of a slight bit of resentment and that was just because of I was a dumb teen.
Oh yeah, stupid dumb teens.
Yeah, but the place itself was awesome.
Oh, so you went to like the same place every year,
or the places,
or the
areas themselves.
Same hit the same spots, sort of.
Yeah, we'd go to the same
haunts,
campground,
same hangouts.
Yeah,
that's cool. Oh wow, I'll bet you had a lot of nice times in the dry heat of the desert.
Absolutely. I was in 110 Fahrenheit degree heat in Kansas, which is like 40 something. It was insane.
Wow. Yeah, but it's that dry heat, right? Not as humid. I mean,
it wasn't as humid. It's still absolutely awful.
Still pretty hot. Yikes. So not the worst vacation. Shout out to Mom.
No, I mean most of my vacations, luckily for me, have been quite good and relaxing.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. If that's the worst one, just pouty teen, just being a pouty teen. All right, and the final question coming to us from Morgan. Thanks again to Morgan. Is what face do you make when you turn back to your friends after bowling?
I'd say one of two, depending on how the bowl went. Either like way too confident, like jokingly confident, or a face that I love making, which is tongue out, eyes up and to the side as if you just made a dumb joke. You know, like you got,
yeah. I think there's an emoji for that.
Yeah, it's not quite the one, but I love that face. I always think it's very funny.
All right. Yeah, great faces.
Great questions.
Great questions. Thank you so much. Everyone got to be following at house_feminist. And I'm looking at you, Gavin.
I am. I literally just did on my phone.
Boom. Okay. So now we got a question coming to us from friend of the show, Todd Puppy Carlos at the Todd Williams on Twitter. And of course, he wants me to ask his signature question. And it is the Kiss one. So that is, if you were a member of Kiss, what would be your character and makeup deal?
Okay. I think it'd be funny if you know what we do is if I was a member of Kiss, my character would be like really, really quiet and like very, very like he loves the rules. Like I still wear glasses.
That's your makeup is just glasses.
or just like I don't know, like rosy cheeks. Or just like, you know, something really nice.
Yeah, like a nice. Yeah, rosy cheeks is good.
Rosy cheeks, you know, maybe like, and maybe just like a bigger smile.
Yeah, just like a sincere smile.
And my guy would just be like the quiet follower of rules,
like the backup keyboard guy.
Yeah, like when everybody's jamming and they're like, wanna rock it. I'm like, guys, we gotta keep it down.
Yeah, the curfew's at 10.
Yeah, we can't rock and roll all night and party every day. Come on.
It's just not feasible.
Yeah, I'd be the realist.
Yeah,
of the group.
Just devil's advocate over here. What?
Okay, Gene.
Yeah. What if we didn't want to rock?
Yeah. I don't know. What if we call it a night? Am I crazy?
I think we should just call ourselves Smooch.
That's very good.
All right. So we got an answer, Todd. We got an answer from that sometimes controversial question. People are stumped by that more often than you'd think. So thank you to Todd. Everyone got to be following at the Todd Williams for great, hilarious tweets. And we got a final question coming to us from friend of the show, Malt_Skull. And this question comes to us all the way from Finland.
Oh,
wow. And it's a question relating to your famous impression of the guy from Lost. What's his name?
Yeah.
Donovan?
Desmond.
Desmond from Lost.
Hume.
Desmond Hume from Lost. So you got to watch that video and then listen to this question. It is, what's the essence of impersonating a Scotsman?
What is the essence of impersonating a Scotsman?
I don't know. You got it, though.
You know what's funny is I saw this on Twitter, and I thought it was in reference to Randall Walsh because his last name is Walsh, which sounds like it might be Scottish.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's a long way to go. But no, this makes way more sense. The way it started is I always loved the way he said, because the whole thing with Desmond and Lost is that he there's like 2 or 3 times in that show where he like becomes amnesic, like he gets amnesia or like can't remember things.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was so funny when he would go, I don't know you. I don't know you. So that's what that started, is I would just say that a ton because I thought it was so funny the way he said it. The you of you.
Yeah. That's so good. I think that's like 2 of the impressions, right? It's like the same thing.
I don't know you.
So yeah, so maybe something about like the you gotta like smush your mouth together.
Or like almost like it comes from like the depths of your throat. I'm certainly not an impression.
If you've ever involuntarily made a noise, it comes from one of those places.
One of those noises, yeah. It comes from way down there in the throat.
It's always surprising when you involuntarily make a noise. I don't know when the last time you did that was, but it's surprising.
Yeah, and you look at your body as if to say, where did that come from?
What happened, guys? Normally I get a heads up on these things.
You just look down. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Indeed, Gavin. That was the last question. I think we did it. We did
nice.
We did a whole podcast. We covered all the great Gavin Pounds trivia facts and quotes. People are gonna be quoting this episode.
Oh, for sure. This is gonna start memes, I'm sure. In Guelph.
They'll see an electric unicycle whizzing down the street, and they'll be like, "I don't know you."
Oh, that would be so good if somebody did that.
So please, if you see Gavin whizzing by on his electric, what do you call it? A bike?
It's an electric unicycle. Yeah, I think there's only 4 other people in the city that have them. So if you see one, it may be me.
That's cool. Are you guys in a club? Do you have tattoos?
I actually did have a guy that messaged me asking if we wanted to go ride around together.
Yeah.
And I was like,
if you guys all
no.
4 of you together or whatever.
Yeah, he wanted to just go ride around.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to use this other than just to get from place to place.
Right. Yeah. But what would Randall Walsh do? Give Randall Walsh
he
one
would
of
never
those?
ride it to begin
He
with,
gets all
think.
4 of those people, and yeah, it's all of a sudden a weekly thing.
We ride around in our leather jackets.
Yeah, all customized.
We still hold our hands out on handlebars that are not there because this thing doesn't have handlebars, but you still hold it out there.
Yeah. And obeying all of the laws.
Of course.
The signals, those hand signals, very important. All right. Well, I won't keep you any longer. I know you might have a tour to give or whatever else you might be doing on this lovely Sunday.
Sure.
So I'll let you go. So thank you very much for being on the podcast. And everyone got to go follow Gavin online at Gavin LBS, like pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, how good is it to have a name that has a abbreviation?
It's handy.
It is handy. It's already a straight up pun. You can just you can do whatever you want with that.
I stole it from my brother.
Nice. Shout out to your brother.
Mm.
And I guess I will play the theme song and we'll say our goodbyes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget to check out Randall Walsh Enterprise on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. You'll be inspired. All right, you freaks. Catch you later. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode with Gavin. You'd be smart to follow him on Twitter at GavinLBS for fun jokes and at Randall Walsh Enterprise on Instagram for motivational inspiration. For all the classic Friends of the Show episodes, visit www.stevenwskinner.com or find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Poddump. Now please leave a rating and review. And follow at FOTS Pod on Twitter to find posts about the latest episodes and when to send questions to be asked on the show. Now go ahead and follow me on Twitter at SkinnerSteven. New tweets every day. Send me a DM and let me know you listened. That'd be nice. Well, thank you to Ruby Coast for the music. Thank you to Kyle I. Davidson for the theme. And thank you so very much for listening. I am Stephen W. Skinner. Have a great one.